Hey, what's up, guys? So I've been on Taskrabbit for 10 years now, just about 10 years. I think I started around spring in 2016. So we're spring 2026 now. And yesterday, a message popped up on the app that I've never seen before. So I thought I'd make a video about it real quick. Um, I had a task at 1:30, but my earlier task, I got done with it faster. So I messaged the client. I said, "Hey, can I start at 12:30 instead of 1:30?" And they said they agreed. So I went there at 12:30. I got the job done by 1. And then I went to invoice it, and a message popped up that said, like, basically said you can't invoice it until after the start time of the task. You can't invoice it any time before. And that's never been the case before. Like I've always done this. I've always just messaged the client and said, "Hey, are you available earlier?" And then just went and did it earlier and then invoiced it without a problem. But I think they're tightening up in 2026. I think they're tightening up on the policies. They're tightening up on the rules. So I would say my advice to you is, if you do that, and it's something that I have to make a habit out of now, if you do reschedule for an earlier time with the client, make sure that you do it on the app as well. Make sure that you actually reschedule the task to the new time. That way you don't run into this issue and you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it seems like they're tightening up, guys. So I would say if you want to stay active on Taskrabbit, if you don't want to get booted off, you gotta basically play their game. You gotta play their game by their rules. And some things they're sticklers about is like they want to make sure that all communication is on the app. So it's not always possible, because sometimes, like, a landlord will be like, "Hey, call my tenant when you get there." So it's not always possible. But I would definitely try your best to keep all communication on the app. Even if, like, the client calls you, you might want to do like a quick summary. Just text them a quick summary of what you talked about, just to kind of protect yourself. And that's one. Try to keep all communication on the app. Another thing I've heard is, I heard somebody on Facebook talk about how they received a violation or something like that for they added an expense, but there was no picture of the receipt in the chat. And I mean, like, I've done this dozens of times. So just because you have done that doesn't mean they won't kick you out for doing that now. You know what I mean? So that I'm definitely gonna try to not do this anymore. If you have an expense, if you're gonna charge any kind of expense on an invoice, do your best to have a receipt, a picture of a receipt in the chat that matches that, because they will think that you're actually just taking extra payment from the customer, and that you're hiding it under expense so that they don't have to pay the Taskrabbit fee. You know what I mean? And so if I were you, any kind of expense, try to get a receipt for it, take a picture of it, and put it in the chat. Or at the very least, mention to the clients in the chat, say, "Hey, I will be putting this much money for expenses for this material, for this whatever supplies, whatever." And just try your best to protect yourself, guys, because I think they're using AI and AI, all kinds of things. They're gonna tighten up in 2026. There's a saturation of workers, so they could boot people off for anything and not have a trouble replacing you. So especially like if you're a higher charging one, they don't like that, guys. You think like, well, all the customers like me and I charge so much. I charge a premium and I'm valuable to the app because I charge higher price. So they don't care about any of that, guys. They work in volume. They rather have 5 guys that charge $20 an hour than have one guy that charges $100 an hour. It doesn't matter to them. So don't think that you're special just because you're charging more or anything like that. But yeah, that's it, guys. Use your best judgment when working on this app. Try not to violate any policies. Try not to bring unauthorized workers, unauthorized helpers, you know what I mean, on task. If you're doing moving and they need and you bring a helper or whatever, for Taskrabbit, they need to also be a tasker. So you'd have to sign them up so they have an account. And that one makes sense because, where everybody's background checked. So you're going into people's houses and bringing somebody that completely bypasses the background check kind of defeats the purpose of Taskrabbit being a safe, place where people go hire contractors that are background checked. You know what I mean? So that one makes sense. But you guys know, like I got a 7-day ban for something. 7-day ban for something I didn't even do. They said that I was promoting my business on my pitches, and I didn't even do that. And I still got a 7 days. I just had to live with it. There was nobody to complain to. There was nobody to talk to. There was no human. So, but I know you're thinking like, man, so like, F Taskrabbit, that's what you're thinking. Like, man, I'm not gonna lick their boots. I'm not gonna play by their games. If they want to be sticklers, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. They can go, screw themselves. Today's Wednesday. Yesterday for me, $500 day. Today, $500 day. So for $500 days, I will play along with Taskrabbits, with them being sticklers about their policies and all that. I'll play along for $500 a day. You better believe I'll play along. I'm so, thank sweet Lord baby Jesus, man, that it picked up for me a little bit this week, because I was desperate, dude, and thankfully it picked up. Yesterday I had 3 jobs on Taskrabbit and one private client, and today I had 3 jobs on Taskrabbit and 1 private client. And tomorrow I have 1 job on Taskrabbit, but I had to take the afternoon off because that root canal that I told you guys about. The dentist said basically, like, with the root canal, with the hole they make for the root canal, like, you're 1 crunchy taco away from splitting your tooth in half. So I need a crown now. So tomorrow afternoon they're gonna numb me up again, grind my tooth down to a little nub, glue a temporary crown, a temporary tooth, and then a couple of weeks from now, when the real one that they send out to get made, when that one comes in, I go back to the dentist, and I go back to the dentist and they literally drill and break this crown, the temporary crown. They literally break it off, and you could hear like the crunching. Like they grab pliers and they're like like it sounds brutal, bro. But I mean, you're all numbed up, so you don't feel anything, but it sounds pretty brutal. It sounds like they're breaking your tooth with pliers, and then they'll put in the permanent crown. So yeah, I had to take tomorrow afternoon off because I'm not gonna I don't want to work after the I'll work in the morning, go to the dentist, and then after that I don't want to go to work with have a face swollen or numb or drooping or do anything like that, so yeah, on that note too, like my pain is gone, my face pain is gone, everything's gone. I think I finished my antibiotics already, so we'll see how it goes, man. I really appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, man, that's just my tip to you guys. Straighten up and fly right. Watch your P's and Q's, and you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot more money than Lowe's. I know that, on Taskrabbit. So take it easy, guys.